Hi guys, and welcome back to another video of our Schooners and Scoreboards podcast. For those of you who have just subscribed or joined our platform, my name is Chris, and alongside me I've got Dave. Dave, mate, as usual, thanks for coming in.
No, it's right.
As usual, mate, I'm gonna have to start getting on a bit of a broken record machine, so it just keeps playing. As always, guys, thanks to our supporters and our followers out there, and a big shout out to our sponsor JP Property Maintenance for sticking with us this year. It's been good so far. We're 7 weeks in, Davo.
Yeah, it's going quick, isn't it?
Mate, It is flying past.
It is going quick too.
So what's been happening on your end, mate? Are you still living high after the Bulldogs did the Panthers over the weekend, or what?
Yeah, on the football wise, football. Yeah, work wise and all that, and on the other end of that is other troubles, but we won't talk about that.
He's floating about up here and about here, apparently. Where me, I'm like down here, so you know. But I got this on today, mate. I don't mean to give you a bit of an up the bum sort of thing or nothing like that. It's just a bit of a unlucky to the Bulldogs this weekend. All right, guys. Look, without further ado, let's get straight into it. We're at round 7. This NRL season is going so fast. It's actually scary to see. But look, without further ado, we head straight into Thursday's Teamless Tuesday, 7:50 p.m. We head to Queensland Country Bank Stadium, Townsville. Cowboys versus the Manly Sea Eagles. Cowboys going to this one. Braden Burns returns to the wing for Murray Talangi, who is out with a concussion. Sonny Luke starts at hooker over Reid Marnie, who is suffering a head knock from last week. Sam McIntyre returns to the 6-man bench, and Viliami Vailea on the bench also. As for Manly, they go into this one with Sio Sua. Sorry, I've had a moment here. Takiaho, he'll come in. He comes back from the calf injury. I can't even talk at the moment. He comes back from a calf injury off the bench, and Nathan Brown on the 6-man bench. Look, Davo, Cowboys 4 wins in a row, and Scott Drinkwater plays his 150th game for the Cowboys. What can we see here, mate?
I'm tipping. I'm tipping the Cowboys. It's up there too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to tip the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a bit too strong. Obviously, the likes of the way Tamalolo's been playing, to me, it looks like he's round the clock back a little bit.
And the way Drinkwater, they said last night on the footy show, when Drinkwater's on. Cowboys are on,
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I can't see him going to the Dragons. But I told about.
Nah, there is a lot going on there, and we'll touch base on that shortly for sure. But look, in my opinion, I think if Manly are to even try and win this game, obviously it's going to be off the back of Jamal Fogarty's kicking game as usual.
Isn't Jake? Is he back or?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the squad. I don't even think I'll put their things down, but
might have to wear shoulder pads and a headgear.
Yeah, I think he's got to wear that headgear where it comes down his face like this and just cover that one eye. No, I'm pretty sure he'd be good to go. I think unless he's out because of the stitches, I'm not too sure. I can't believe I didn't even look at that squad. But as I was saying, I think for Manly to win, they need Jamal Fogarty's kicking game is crucial. I think if he kicks down deep in the corners and the Manly forwards there suppress the likes of Taumalolo and players like that they might do him justice, but I just think Cowboys in Townsville is going to be too strong.
Yeah.
But look, moving on, we're on. Thank God it's Friday, 6 p.m. We head to Canberra, where the Canberra Raiders versus the winless Melbourne Storm at the moment. Raiders coming to this one. Matt Timoko comes into the centres, sliding Seb Chris to the wing, and Savilio Tomale drops out. Dean Laurie on the 6-man bench as usual. For the Melbourne Storm, Manai Watere, if that's how I pronounce it, comes to the starting squad in place of Moses Leo, who's been dropped to the reserves. Sean Bloor joins the interchange. Storm on a worrying 4-game losing streak. If they win this one, mate, I don't know what's in it for him. Nick Manny plays his 100th appearance for Melbourne Storm. You think they can grab the win here, Dave? And how do they do it?
I don't know. They need to. I don't know. Their attack's been slack too.
Yeah,
hasn't been the normal selves Melbourne.
Especially up that middle, and you're coming into a game where you're going to Canberra versus the Raiders, who have got big big front rowers in that squad, and that's what Melbourne are missing. They're missing that big punch. I mean, I don't know why they've dropped Moses Leo. To me, he's been the gel for Melbourne so far this season. Like, I know they haven't won many games, but he's been obviously the glue that's holding that squad together there in that middle. He's played some great footy. He come out and played one bad game, and obviously there was footage there of Bellamy spraying him. So I don't know whether it's a bit of a situation between coach and player there. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be blaming Leo for the way Melbourne have been playing. No way in the world.
As Craig Melleby said last night at the footy show, the way it would have been rather go to the pub and have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
Would have been better.
Yeah.
Pub and couple of beers. Yeah, the way they've been playing.
And that's not Melbourne. Like,
no, it's not. No,
you go over the years, Melbourne have been the team to never fall out of the eight, and now they're to the point where they're pushing down towards the bottom of the ladder.
And they can't blame the players that's left either.
Well, they can't blame the players. They can't blame the refs like Flanagan does. But I don't know. I think this one's going to be one where if they do lose it, it's going to be a long season for Melbourne.
Yeah, I've tipped Melbourne.
Yeah.
In a close one myself, but
there you go, guys. If you're in the tipping comp, Dave's on Melbourne.
But Raiders are playing at home.
Yeah,
but Raiders didn't. They played well last week away from home.
They do. It's just their discipline that worries me with them. Like Hudson Young played a good game last week. I think he got a double.
Before that, a few weeks before that, they've had no discipline. So.
No, and look, let's just hope they tighten up. Obviously. Timoko back there, in my opinion, is a great move for Raiders. I think he's a good player. Seb Chris back to the wing. Yeah. I think them two will really have a big impact on that edge there. So, but we'll see what happens, eh?
Yeah,
we will see what happens.
Yeah, as I said, there's upsets every week now.
Yeah, you can't predict it. It's scary. No. All right, 8 p.m. we head to Darwin, TIO Stadium, where the Finns versus the Panthers. Dolphins coming to this one. Brad Schneider comes into the 14 jersey with Kurt Donahue sidelined and Oren Keeley onto the bench. So there's been no other changes. As for the Penrith Panthers, they're just defending their jungle at the moment. Isaac Tago will play his 100th game of his career to cover for Casey McLean, who's suspended. Liam Martin is out with a knee injury, so Luke Garner comes into the starting squad. And Kayani Going, if that's how I pronounce his name. If it's not, I do apologise. Some of these names are just ridiculous to pronounce. He concludes the bench. Finns coming to this one fresh off a bye. A lot of speed on the park.
Yeah, that's it.
Panthers coming into this one, a shock loss last week against your boys. Targo plays his 100th NRL appearance. Jermaine Isako needs 3 points for 800 points at the Finns. How can we see this one going, Davo? Can we see the Panthers get a kick in the guts here and come out and do a bit of damage to the Dolphins, or fresh off a bye and the Finns are flying high?
No, it's going to be a hard game. I've already done my tips. I took the Panthers after last week, but then again, Dolphins are coming off the bye.
Yeah,
they got a lot more speed around the park than what Bulldogs have.
Yeah,
but Penrith need to tighten up.
Yeah,
after last week. Because Dolphins will put a lot more points than what the Bulldogs put on them.
Yeah, I can't see Panthers going two losses in a row.
No, I can't either. But no.
They need
to tighten up around the ruck.
I think my only concern with the Panthers is Isaac Tago. He's a very, in my opinion, he's a bit of a defensive liability.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has worked on that while he's been not playing in the squad.
Yeah.
And obviously the only reason why he's slotted in here is because McLean's out suspended.
Yeah.
As for their middleman, Liam Martin out with an injury, that's a big loss for him.
Yeah.
Luke Garner, he does okay, but I just don't think he's going to have that impact that Liam Martin's got. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
I think Dolphins off a bye. I think the way it's gone this week, teams that have come off a bye have actually won games.
Yeah, I know.
So it's going to be an interesting game down in Darwin. And obviously going to be a lot of Finns fans there. So. As for the Dolphins, as we just said, there's a lot of speed around their park, but their defence for them is just an issue. clearly can't hold teams out in
No.
decent moments, and then when they get the ball, they just can't do nothing with it. But I don't think Jermaine Ozarko gets his 3 points for his 800 this week. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I think Penrith tighten their defence here. So,
Yeah.
but as I said, to my biggest concern is going to be that edge for sure.
Yeah, he only needs 3 points. Only needs 2 goals at least. So if they score 2 tries, but
well, that's an if,
so,
you know.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
Panthers, they've only, I think the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, they've only really leaked an average of 20 odd points between the Eels and Bulldogs, and then they've only leaked like 6 points each between any other squad. So
yeah, I know.
you know, and like that, they had obviously nothing to lose last week. Panthers, they were playing Cleary's 200th game, and
the Bulldogs were the better team in the end.
Yeah, Cleary just had a shocker. To'o's having a bit of a slow start to the season. So I think as Isaac Tago in this edge, I'm a bit worried for Panthers, but but at the same time you cannot write them off.
No, that's it.
I did that last year, and I did that last year, and look what happened. The year before, and look what happened.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it. We head to Super Saturday. Always the best day of the round for us. We head to Go Media Stadium in Auckland at 3 p.m, where the Warriors take on the Titans. Warriors coming to this one. Kurt Capewell, he returns from a calf injury, pushing Murata Niokore to the bench. Chance, Nickel Clockstad, and Mitch Barnett are listed amongst the reserves looking to return from injuries. Tanner Stowers-Smith out with a hamstring injury also. As for the Titans, no changes in the 19. Cleese Haas joins Josh Paxton on the extended bench. Look, both teams flying high after their wins last week. Warriors defeating Melbourne and Titans smoking the Eels. So, thoughts on this one, Davo? What can we expect?
I reckon. Said they were both on a high after last week, but I can't see Titans beating Warriors over there.
Nah, I can't see that either. I mean, I know the Titans did beat Eels last week. Obviously, the Eels have got a lot of injuries. Obviously, no excuse, but there was a lot of speed going on that field, and the middleman of Parramatta just couldn't handle anything. So, obviously, as disappointing as that game was, I've moved on to the week. But look, as for the Warriors, their middlemen are dead set relentless. If they come out and play the way they played this year so far, I think Titans are going to be in for a absolute cracker of a game. But we'll see what happens. I'm just going to shut that door. Bloody animals. But I just don't think the Titans are going to be
even I can't
close.
see that.
I think their middlemen are going to get absolutely smashed.
I can't see them over.
And you look at the Titans; they've got a lot of small fellas in their squad. Very small fellas in their squad. It makes me wonder how they even move around the field. But moving on, 5:30 p.m. we head to Accor Stadium in Sydney, where the Rabbitohs take on the Dragons. Rabbitohs come into this one with Matt Duffy back into the NRL arena since 2022 for the injured Jai Gray. Wishing Jai Gray all the best. I actually feel sorry for him. Lachlan Hubner comes into the back row replacing David Fafita, who I hear is out for up to 6 weeks. He's picked up a bit of an injury there. As for the Dragons, Matt Fangai starts over Moses Sully, who's out with a fractured eye socket apparently. Jacob Halangahu has been added to the bench. David Farley listed among the reserves. Christian Tuipulotu is good to go after leaving the field last week with a knee injury. And Alex Johnson will make his 100th appearance at Accor Stadium. I'm expecting a few meat pies from Johnson on that edge. Big time.
I can't.
Your thoughts, Davo?
I can't see Dragons getting 2 points yet.
No.
Not till round 13, 14, what they said at the footy show last night, roughly. To get the first 2 points. Sad to say for these Dragon supporters, but
I know. Obviously, there's a lot going on around that club. There's talks of the player that Eels just signed. His head's in my mind, but I can't think of his name. Anyway, they've signed obviously one of their decent players. Jaden Sewer, that's the one.
Right,
They signed Jaden Sewer for 3 years,
yeah,
starting next year. But
Yeah.
word is on the street he could be in an Eels jersey very, very soon.
yeah.
He's not happy at the club, and I think like the way I've seen things, if a coach is sacked,
Yeah.
they're obviously not going to hold on to
Yeah,
a player,
Yeah.
that's for sure. And I think if the Bunnies get the win over the Dragons here, surely Shane Flanagan's gone. I'm pretty sure there was meetings that were held this week regarding Shane Flanagan's future. I'm not sure if they went ahead or whatnot, but look, if they're 6-0. Surely they don't let him go on if they lose this. You can't.
Yeah.
Like, you're naming the same squad every week.
Yeah,
Besides
then again,
injuries, like something has to change here.
I know they got to. So unless I go to Centrelink and see if there's any
Yeah, well, he could. Yeah,
just for any when he wants to stand up.
he could always go and be a part of Blackdown Council. I mean, then they're obviously looking for workers. They're not doing much.
10 one working. 10 blokes on the shovel, only one working, but
exactly right. I think they're a bit like Shane Flanagan. They're a bit lost. I don't know what's going on. But look, as for the Bunnies,
they come.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, they just. I don't know. The first half last week, Latrell.
Yeah.
A few silly mistakes, but
Bennett must
have got into them at half time.
Yeah.
They come out, they just shining in the second half,
even
though they lost.
And they can play good footy too.
Yeah.
Like they can the Bunnies, they can play some real good footy, but just small little things that need to fix in their game.
Yeah.
I mean, that the left edge there of Walker, Latrell, and Johnson is dead set. That's lethal. That's probably one of the best, or close to the best halves pairing edge pairing in the game so far. And they're obviously flying high. I think Latrell just needs to sort of, like, I know he tries to get out on that left and pulling defenders, which is obviously what you're doing. He tries to get the ball out to Johnston, but I think he needs to just sort of be patient with the ball. Don't push it if it's not there, because that's what's leaking him points. And as for defense, well, he does sort of tend to come out of the line a little bit in defense. But I think this is going to be a game where the Bunnies are going to show some big numbers here. I think Matt Duffy, that's a big that's a big combination. That's a big set of shoes there to fill. His first game back, I think he's going to carve up that middle there of the Dragons. Like the Dragons' edges, they're big fellas. But Moses Sully out is a bit of a big loss for him. I think the Dragons go 0-7, which is, in my opinion, it's embarrassing. I thought the Eels were having a bad season.
It's going to be this is the next. I think. Well, no, we're not into next week yet, but they won't. They got Roosters next Anzac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Imagine going into that. Imagine going to that clash without a coach.
Yeah, well, that's
it's got to happen. Surely, if they lose this, surely something has to happen. If not, it goes further than the coach, man. Like, that's what you look at. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're still here, thanks for staying with us. As always, get your questions in, get your opinions in, and any comments in the comment section. We'd be happy to answer anything you've got out there, as always. But stick with us, and we'll see what happens, I suppose. This is how it goes. We love doing this sort of stuff. But 7:35, the last game for Super Saturday, we head to Campbelltown Stadium in Sydney. Now, if this stadium is not sold out, something is wrong, because the West Tigers go up against the Brisbane Broncos.
Home again, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, I've taken the Tigers this week.
Tigers are coming to this one. Skipper Jerome Lua has been named, pushing Jock Madden to the 14. Look, we'll see how that works out. Taylor May is also back from a shoulder injury. He goes to the centres with Sonia Taruva going back to the wing. Gerald Skelton makes way, and Luke Lualili is part of the 6-man bench. As for the Broncos, they welcome back skipper Adam Reynolds, pushing Tom Duffy to the interchange. Pat Carrigan serving his suspension sees Xavier Willison coming into the lock. Corey Pakes is replaced by Josh Rogers while he deals with the head knock, and Jack Gazowski and Jaden Hunt join the 6-man bench. Look, this one, Tigers 3 wins straight, and Kai Pearce-Paul playing his 50th NRL game. This game is going to be an absolute cracker. I cannot wait for this game. The way the Tigers have been playing, they've been on some very, very hot form. Like, they're sitting equal first with Panthers. Who would have picked that?
Yeah, I know,
Who would have picked that? And, you know, defending premiers, Broncos, they're all sorts.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know, that's just, you cannot pick it this year. It's crazy.
So Ben Hunt and Welsh are still out, eh?
Yeah, they're still out. I think Walsh isn't due back till, like, the end of this month. Maybe, depending how he goes. So I got a feeling by the time he comes back, it'll be around, what, Origin time? I think, Origin's 2-3 weeks, 2 weeks after he comes back. So whether he even gets an Origin jersey is going to be named. I mean, if he comes out and plays one game and then walks into an Origin camp, well, you know, what are we looking at there? Like, he hasn't been playing his best footy.
No,
you know?
that's right. Yeah,
I think that shocker of an eye job from the porcelain toilet bowl, but. Now he's, you know, he's still out. Like, you know, I don't know what they're doing. I think, obviously Reynolds and Hunt must try to carry him out because they keep popping Emmys, trying to carry him out of his porcelain so he's hurt himself. But your thoughts on that one, David?
I've already tipped the Tigers for 4 on the trot. So but
he tipped the Tigers for 4 on the run.
Yeah, only because of some of the couple of good players Brisbane's got out.
And you look at it like, and this is dead set just come to my head. I'm having a little party up here. You know, the two top two squads are cats. Like, not calling the squads cats, but the emblems are cats. The Tigers are basically a cat. The Panthers basically a cat, in my opinion. So, you know, you got two 4-legged jungle animals running the top of the ladder, and they're speed. They're speed animals. And these teams, they're speed teams. See, this works on its good day. But that's crazy looking like that. I've had a moment. Jeez. Two jungle teams running the top of the ladder. Jeez. Look, I think it's going to be a good clash. It's going to be a close game, I think. Obviously, Tigers welcome back Jerome Luai, which is a good boost for him.
But they've been playing well without.
That's what I'm saying. This is what
Jock Madden and
I'm honestly worried for Tigers because. That's what, like, Jock Madden's been playing some great footy.
Yeah, now they're going to put him back.
He goes to 14, so I think he'll be there for security. But I know he can play another position as well. So maybe they bring him on. You know, a few times during the game just for a bit of extra second phase play. But you know, Jerome Luai back for him is a big boost. But we'll see how he controls the game considering. How well Ben's been playing. And it's good though. Like, I praise Benji. I didn't really have a big hype on him this year. The Tigers, I thought, you know, Luai there, you know, I know they signed a few extras, but I didn't think they were going to do too good. But they've proved me wrong.
Yeah, they're playing well.
But as for the Broncos, well, you know, their team gets switched around almost every week now. It's you know, this player in, that player out, this player in, that player out. It's just it's crazy, man. And considering where they're sitting on the ladder, you know, it's a worry. Look, hopefully they sort themselves out soon. I think I'm with you. I think Tigers 4 straight, which is a bonus. I'd like to see Kai Pearce-Paul get a try because he's been in great form. He played a great game last week. So we'll see what happens. We touch base on the last 2 games of the round. Fun Day Sunday, as we call it. They say they save the best to last. 2 p.m. we head to Allianz Stadium in Sydney. The Roosters versus the Knights. For the Roosters, the same 19 as last week. Billy Smith amongst the reserves as he aims to return from a knee injury. Pardon me. As for the Knights, Dylan Brown returns from an injury, so Fletcher Sharp slides to fullback and Fletcher Hunt to the centres. Thomas Kant starts in the back row for Dylan Lucas. Changes on the bench see Cody Hopwood in for Tyson Rizal, who's out with that rib issue, and Francis Manulelu, he'll join the interchange. Dylan Lucas is out for up to 6 weeks with multiple cartilage fractures in the throat. So that's yikes. That makes my throat hurt just thinking of that. And as I just said, Brazil's out up for up to 4 weeks with a rib injury. So bit of a different squad. Knights have been playing some decent footy over the last few weeks.
Been still up. Yeah, well, they were still in fifth position.
Yeah.
Checking the ladder today, so they're still in fifth.
They're surprising me big time. But now they welcome back Dylan Brown. What changes?
So
does their $1 million man keep playing the way they're playing, or should we just go back to what they knew like?
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah, I've already taken the Roosters, but so
the Roosters have been playing some good footy too. I haven't really been tracking them, but they've been doing some good things. But this one's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
But look, last game of the round, and this one is a tickle to my throat. Look, I'm not confident. I know Davo is sitting here thinking, suck shit, you bastard. But we head into the last game of the round where the Eels versus the Bulldogs at CommBank Stadium. I'm pretty sure it is, or is it?
Yeah, it's CommBank.
At 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It is there, right? They didn't even read it. How bad's that? Look, for the Eels, a bit of a boost. Sean Russell returns from concussion. So Brian Kelly goes to the wing. I do not like that at all. I hate that. And Araz Nunva goes to the interchange. Charlie Geimer and Jack Williams go to the second row for Kelma Tuolangi and Katoni Katoga, who are out with head knocks. Sam Tuavadi is out with a head knock also, sees Jackson Pryke joining the bench. So another debutant there. And Tony Mataeli also added to the bench. So we'll see a couple of new faces running around for blue and gold there. Considering how many injuries they got, which is woeful. But as every year you look at it, like it was last year, it was the Bunnies that had all their injuries, and this year it's the poor Eels.
But they did say last night, what you said the other day on the other night on the podcast. It come from someone on the panel last night. One of them said it.
Was that
they need to bring some of the new young fellas through, young blood. For Parramatta.
It was it David Riccio? Was it? I know he mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was David Riccio. He mentioned a few things. And we'll touch base on the Bulldogs shortly, but he did mention a few things, obviously with the Parramatta Eels, where speculation that Mitchell Moses isn't happy at the club.
I didn't hear that last. No.
And I heard it on something. I was listening to something and I heard it. They like they've said, bring the juniors up. Obviously, which is what we're crying for. Like I've got people I'm in an actual Eels group chat with a lot of people that are involved in another podcast called Talking Para. Shout out to them fellas there, they do a great job, Adam and Troy and the boys. But look, they've said bring up the young fellas, give them in, get them a crack. I don't know why Tuavidi didn't get a shot last. Is it Tuavidi? I've had a moment. Anyway, there's a young fella running around in the New South Wales Cup. He's been playing great footy, and I've said for weeks, bring him up, get him into the squad now, and bleed him because he's just smoking teams in New South Wales Cup. Like the Eels, the New South Wales Cup boys play another. I'm pretty sure they play the Roosters this week. In the, I'm not sure whether it's a grand final or the one or the pre-game or something like that. But the undergrades for Parramatta. Like the last few weeks have been undefeated. They haven't all the undergrad from Tasha Gale Cup, all the girls unders, the men's unders. They're all they're undefeated.
Yeah.
So bring these boys up, bring them into the squad, because you look at it, we've got what, 8, 9 injuries.
Yeah.
In like, I know 2, 3 are out with concussions, but we've got like 3 or 4 players there that have got season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
Bring these young fellas up now, get them in, get them running.
Yeah, that's
we're
it.
Not we're not making the top 8. Like, I know we're what, 2 wins out of the top 8, but the way we are playing, the way our middlemen are, we are not making the top 8. You know, and honestly, this week will prove it.
Yeah.
Honest to God. But yeah, and obviously there was speculation around them that Mitch Moses isn't happy at the club. Obviously with the way he's been acting and things like that. I've said since his foot injury, and I've had a lot of backup from this. Since he injured his foot last year, or last year or the year before, whenever it was, he's been not so confident with his kicking game. He's booting balls out on the full. He's playing, definitely playing not 100%. He's having brain snaps. He's having fall, like he's doing the good fall where a player bumps him and his hands going here and you fall on the ground and he's jumping up and waving his hands around at the ref. He's just been warned for touching a referee, which apparently you're not allowed to do. I think it's the most stupidest rule in the game. They can touch you, but you can't touch them. That's wrong. But he's blowing up at the boys. Obviously, there was a play last week where the ball was supposed to go to Mitch, and it went out towards the other side of the field. He's blowing up at the boys about that. No one's come out and said nothing. Like, I get, you're the captain of the squad, and in my opinion, Mitch should not be the captain of the squad. It should go to somebody else. But because it's being a captain of the squad, it's a lot of pressure. Like, he's in the leadership group, but to me, he's not. He shouldn't be the captain. I know I've said multiple weeks now he won't lead the Eels or Premiership. I still stand by that. I know he is playing with a groin injury. Now, in my opinion, if you're not 100%, get him off and put this Talatana in. Put him in, give him a run, because this kid is an absolute freak. I've watched him for weeks. He's a freak. But as I said, speculations, he's not happy. I think, I know I'm 50-50 there. Obviously, you've got a lot of injuries in your squad. You're trying to step up and do your job, but you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. It does take a mental toll on you. But saying that, you've played in New South Wales State of Origin. You've won State of Origin 10 times different arena. You know, and now it's to the point where I don't know, things ain't working out like they should be. And you know, I'm not blaming Mitch, but you know, he has done some silly things this week. But last week, sorry. But look at the Bulldogs. Prop Leo Thompson has been named to play for the first time this season. He's been named in. Obviously Max King, who suffered a broken jaw last week, so he's out. Josh Curran amongst the reserves is also looking to return from a rib injury in round. He picked up in round 4. And Stephen Crichton is amongst the extended bench, is also aiming to return from the shoulder injury. So so there's a lot of boosts coming in there.
They need to give him a rest a couple of other weeks. I
wouldn't. In my opinion, I wouldn't be pushing. I wouldn't be pushing Curran back. Obviously, rib cartilage is. Rib cartilage is a complicated injury. Like, you can pick it up, you can play with it. I know Josh Adokar is playing with it. You can play with it, but it would affect you. And like, if you've got one wrong hit, you're going to the bench. Stephen Crichton, obviously that shoulder injury. I wouldn't. Pardon me, sorry guys. I wouldn't rush. I wouldn't rush him in. I'd just play around with him. Obviously, they're going in against the Eels, who are injury ridden. Like, you know, I've never seen a squad like this bad since I've supported the boys. But I wouldn't be rushing Crichton in, considering how well they played last week without him.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you're right there. So
you know, but maybe bringing him in would add that bit of structure to him. Maybe
a bit more spark too, I suppose.
So we'll see what happens. Are you going to come up for that game?
Yeah. I'm going orange, but
Oh, you're going
I'll
orange.
Be back. I'll be back.
Right, sweet. Yeah, no worries. And as for the Sharkies, they get the swim through. They got the bye. Hines not got to do nothing for them 2 points. He gets them handed to him. We're going to touch base on a little bit different. I know last week we hit the injury ward, and we're looking at that. Obviously, a lot of injuries were there. Let us know if you still want to see them injury wards, guys. We can add that into our podcast each week. It's fine. Obviously, I'll touch base on that next week because a lot of things move around, and we try to keep these videos obviously as short as possible. I know a lot of people don't really like sitting there watching half an hour worth of video. It does get a bit frustrating. But we are going to do judiciary. We'll touch base on this because judiciary to me is inconsistent. I don't like it. It should be one rule for
everyone.
One charge, one rule. Simple as that. None of this stuff where we'll find this person this much, find this person this much, find ban this person for one game, ban this person for 4 games, whatever. It's stupid. It should be you do a high shot, you're done for a game. You anything worse than that will make your things like if it's a first offence, fair enough, a fine or whatever, but learn, man, because this is getting a joke. We look at it. Pat Carrigan's suspended for 1 game. For I'm pretty sure it was a high shot. Casey McLean's also suspended for 1 game, which we mentioned earlier. Will Penasini pleaded not guilty to a high shot, and he'll stand before the judiciary tonight to see how his charge goes. Obviously, we will know that later on. If you do want to see snippets of things like this, guys, how things are going, on our Facebook page, let us know and we can get them in as little photos or whatever, just to keep everybody updated. As always, Trent Liero fined $3,000. Latrell Mitchell, Billy Burns and Jerome Hughes are fined $1,800 for their charges, grade 1 high tackle. Hamole Alokatoa has been fined $1,000 for a high shot. This is what I'm talking about. Kurt Mann has also been fined $1,000 for a high shot. Samuela Fainu has been fined $1,000 for a dangerous contact. So that's exactly what.
They should be getting. There shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be different fines for different, like for the same charge.
Nah, it should be just 1 or 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
What's this $1,000 or $2,000?
That's
$1,800.
And where does the money go to the NRL?
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
what are the NRL going to do? Spend it a bit more in a bunker, or are they trying to save up for Someone mentioned to me the other day in a group chat. The person mentioned to me, not to me, but to the group about what's next. The NRL bringing in AI rulings on forward passes. And I said to myself, well, and I put back in the chat, how do we expect AI to get it right if the refs can't get it right? That's it, ridiculous.
No, there shouldn't be any money fines. Should be a couple of weeks.
It should be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3.
That's it.
Suspended for a game, suspended for 2 games, suspended for 3 games. That's how it should be. Like I get players. You know, if you do a high shot to someone and it looks a bit worse for wear, and that player gets stood down for 11 days, stand that player down for 11 days. You've caused that. Like I know you ain't going to do it, but it's direct contact. It's forceful misconduct. It's just things like that, and it'd make the game a lot more. I think it'd make the game a lot more understandable in that sort of thing. Like, why should we charge someone extra because they've got a high shot? Like, I get. First offence, fair enough. But if you do that situation where you've done it more than once, okay, well then they add on a certain fee. Like for instance, if you're bloody Jared Warrior-Hargreaves, how he used to go out and just go berserk. If you come out and you tackle someone and you do a head eye shot at your first offence, all right, here's a fine, whatever. First offence, fine. If that player stood down for 11 days because of HIA, you get that. You're gone for 11 days. If you get hit with a grade 1 on your second offence, you do 1 week.
Yeah, well, that's it.
If it's your third offence and you're multiple offences and add it on, make these players aware, change the style of tackling you do. Like I know you get desperate when you get desperate with your tackles and you try to you just throw your body into them. That's understandable. Players drop things like that. There's a lot going on. you know, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to look at it, but it comes down to you shouldn't have to throw your arm any higher than your shoulder
that's it. Yeah.
line to make a tackle.
Yeah.
Like, you know, honestly, the one thing I do say is bring back the shoulder charge.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I get it, contact of the head, different story. But anything from, say, the chin down, it's fine. Let it play on.
Yeah.
They're men. You're getting paid a massive weekly wage. You know, like Dave's yawning.
There shouldn't be fines, but shouldn't be fines, but
nah, there shouldn't be. That's silly.
Should be 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. Yeah.
No, but I still do think first offence I think should get a fine unless it's worse for wear, you know. But look, let's leave this on a big note here. Our tipping comp, big shout out as always to our boys in the tipping comp and girls. Sorry, obviously it's been hard for everybody. We understand everyone getting a bit fired up, which is good, but a big shout out to our sponsor, JP Property Maintenance, again for sponsoring the tipping comp and the podcast. It's always great to have you on board, mate. But looking at the tipping comp, we're in round 7. In first place, we have Moe Unknown on 33 points.
So
he has used his joker.
So he's beaten me by 4.
Yeah, he's on a run.
Yeah.
And we got Black Magic, which is Jace.
Yep.
He's in second on 30 points.
Yep.
And we got in third place TikTok Cleary, which is Toddy, on 30 points as well.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up slowly.
And I'm on 29,
And you're on 29.
Fourth,
yeah. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
And just quickly, I do want to highlight something. There was a photo put up in the comments on one of our videos of me in a disgusting Panthers jersey, as you guys know, as I know as Kleenex toilet paper. That was a bet put in 2022 when the Eels versus the Panthers in the grand final. And I bet him if Parramatta beat him, he'd have to wear an Eels one. And if Parramatta lost, well, I was in the Panthers jersey. So as you can see, I did lose that bet. To Moe, I have not joined the Panthers family. I will never join the Panthers family. And to rectify that, guys, you can jump over and watch our my last small video I did, where I delighted Muhammad with a little bit of a treat. I enjoyed it. If you want to know what it was, jump over there. I won't let everything go here. Jump over there, have a watch, and let us know what you think. And if you have stayed this far for the video or for the podcast on our Spotify, thank you very much for tuning in. Dave, want to touch base on anything else, mate? Or are we going to shut this one down?
No, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the football. As I said, it's going so quick, isn't it? Round 7 already.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And as always, guys, if you want to see us try anything, do anything, get your questions in. You got opinions, get them through. I'm more than happy to answer anything for sure. Give you a bit of a shout out as well, also. And I think that's going to be us, guys. So as always, thank you for tuning in. And remember, this is our year. Thank you very much.
See you on Sunday.